January 2017, this was the scene just 2 miles away from President Trump's inauguration.
You all have been arrested.
DC police used chemical sprays as they rounded up and arrested more than 200 people that day. More than 100 later sued the district, saying they were peacefully protesting or observing and were detained for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The people suing also alleged they were handcuffed so tightly they lost feeling in their hands, and they didn't get access to food, water, or bathrooms for hours. Prosecutors later dropped nearly all of the charges. The ACLU helped file one of the 2 lawsuits, both of which the district settled for $1.6 million.
Unfortunately, over the years, many counter-inaugural demonstrations have been met with excessive force and other unconstitutional actions by the DC police.
As part of the settlement in 2021, DC government agreed to make changes to police policies on mass arrests, including giving people wristbands with ID numbers, taking a picture of the person and the officer arresting them, when possible, having 3 officers when a person is being searched, reducing delays in transport to the booking facility, and making sure people have access to restrooms and water.
It is critical that our law enforcement lead by example in upholding and respecting demonstrators' First Amendment rights.
DC police also agreed in the settlement to restrict use of sting balls or explosive devices in the future. Police are now only supposed to roll them on the ground, not throw them in the air, except in extreme circumstances. This week, DC Police Chief Pamela Smith spoke about how her agency is preparing for Monday.
We know we'll be able to rise to the challenge because we've done it before.
DC police have dealt with numerous protests and mass arrests in recent years. In 2020, officers arrested more than 100 racial justice protesters on Swan Street for violating curfew. 7 people arrested later sued. An internal affairs investigation found officers did not use excessive force. And as we look ahead to Monday, Chief Smith says her agency's stance is this.
Violence, destruction, and unlawful behavior will not be tolerated. Offenders will face swift and decisive consequences.
And the ACLU tells me it sent letters this week to DC police and other agencies reminding them of those lawsuits and the resulting changes to the mass arrest policy.
Former Union Parish Deputy Chris Harpin was present in court for his sentencing, where he entered a plea of no contest. I heard from Harpin's attorney and Greene's mother about today's hearing.
I am sorry.
It has now been 5 years since Louisiana State Troopers stunned, punched, and dragged black motorist Ronald Greene, resulting in Greene's death. Union Parish Sheriff's Deputy Chris Harpin was also on the scene of the incident and was the last defendant to appear in court. During the court hearing, Harpin entered a no contest plea, meaning the defendant accepts punishment without admitting guilt. Harpin's attorney spoke about the former officer's decision.
Chris felt that he wanted to take the high road, and because of the minor nature of the no-low plea and the sentence, that he did take the high road, put an end to this, and let everyone start the healing process.
Harpin was charged with a misdemeanor offense of simple battery and was sentenced to 6 months in the parish jail that was deferred to supervised probation with a serve date of March 12, 2025. Once the probation term is completed, the supervised portion will be terminated.
Say his name!
Following the hearing, we reached out to Harpin's mother for her thoughts on the results.
This is a cover-up criminal activity by the state of Louisiana, and every damn one of them has their hands in it. Every damn one of them in these news articles, from the feds to the attorneys to the DA to the prosecutors, everyone is complicit in the cover-up.
In a historic and extraordinary move, the United States Department of Justice made bombshell revelations against Louisiana's premier law enforcement agency, Louisiana State Police.
Give me your hand.
To understand how we got here, we have to go back to May of 2019 and the death of Ronald Greene. The feds launched what's called a pattern and practice investigation in June of 2022, as calls grew louder for justice to come following the death of Ronald Greene, a black man in North Louisiana. The DOJ report specifically references the Greene case after he led state police on a high-speed chase. When the chase ended, Greene was alive and apologizing, but body camera footage that was leaked to the media much later revealed he was brutally beaten before his death. The Greene family talked to the WAFBI team this week.
Those that were all part of this, I hope you never have a good night's sleep. I don't know how they can sleep late at night.
The Greene family learned this week no federal charges would come for the death of Ronald Greene. His case led to more questions about the way state police patrol. And the family told us the feds they met with said Greene's case helped with their investigation, generating the findings that state police do in fact engage in conduct that violates the Constitution.
As we were told, Ronnie was killed in a car wreck, the cover-up, the lies. I don't care how many testified. They rewarded these killer cops, those complicit in the lies, the cover-up, and the death of my son. They rewarded those.
The results looked at multiple different incidents dating back to 2018, outside of the Ronald Greene incident, including a shooting right here in Baton Rouge, when State Trooper Kasha Domain shot Clifton Dilley in the back. He was a passenger in a car she was trying to pull over off of Perkins Road, but he took off running. Domain was charged in the shooting and took a plea deal in 2022 after paralyzing the man she shot. Her excessive force noted in the DOJ report.
Her story was pretty incredible, and without the video, we wouldn't know the truth. I mean, it sounded, she called it in as a taser event, and then she proceeded to say that Scotty tried to attack her.
Outside of the Baton Rouge case, 4 other cases across the state of Louisiana were also referenced. March 2019, May 2019, and July 2019. Troopers acted outside the scope of the oath they swore to uphold. Troopers running rogue, grabbing one man by his hair, hitting another 18 times with a flashlight, breaking his jaw and ribs, and slamming a handcuffed man against a car, punching and kneeing him. In May of 2020, at least 7 of the same troopers involved in Ronald Greene's case were involved in another troubling incident where troopers pulled another individual's hair, punched him, and repeatedly hit him with a flashlight. The one thing in common, all of these individuals were black. Tonight, a failure at the highest levels of government is what the Greene family is left processing after they can't understand why no federal charges resulted in the Ronald Greene case, as the feds confirm state police violated people's rights.
We believe that the Department of Justice, Kristen Clark, Merrick Garland, they all failed the people of Louisiana. Not just the Ronald Greene family, but the Department of Justice failed the entire state of Louisiana.
The report also noted state police used force on people who were not a threat and were not given any opportunity to comply. With these bombshell revelations comes a push for change, amid a history-making announcement that will have ramifications in the state of Louisiana for years to come.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate it. And it's going to be super cold right here on the mainland. So let's go to Hawaii, guys. Come on, let's do it. See what we got over here on the Bad Pineapple Report. All right. Honolulu police officer arrested after allegedly strangling roommate. One of those types. Leaves like one swig of orange juice in the carton. Am I right? I'd strangle him too. Maybe this guy's not a bad apple. What happened here? Timothy Massey, age 29, is free on bail after being accused of misdemeanor abuse. All right, mister. A Honolulu police officer was arrested after being accused of strangling a woman. Oh, he had a woman roommate. Nice. Bow chicka wow wow. According to police department, Officer Timothy Massey has been stripped of his police powers. Whoa. 29-year-old is now free on bail, suspected of misdemeanor abuse. When a law enforcement officer is involved in domestic violence, it's despicable, said retired federal agent Tommy Ayu. This should never occur no matter what, because it shows the officer doesn't have control. This guy needs to watch the Bad Apple Report. Seriously, every day. Records show the alleged attack happened around 11 p.m. Monday at an Ewa Beach home shared by Massey and the victim. Okay, law enforcement sources say Massey was reportedly intoxicated when he allegedly approached a female roommate from behind and put his arm around her neck, restricting her ability to breathe. Maybe he was just trying to get a lay, from around her neck. That's stupid. Okay, according to police documents, the woman made the report at the hospital. Sources tell us after the alleged incident, Massey was said to have texted the victim an apology. Oh, dude. See, any documentary evidence, text messages, emails written can be used as evidence, and it's incriminating. Knucklehead. Okay, IU told H&N Investigates he commands HPD. Oh, he commends them for making the officer's arrest public on social. Oh, give me a break. Idiots. You want the public to know what's happening, he said. Really? Well, that's what the Bad Apple Report's for, you knucklehead. Okay, you want to have transparency. You want to have that public trust, and it's the best way to do it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right here. All right, I think that's all we need to know. And Massey has been with HPD 5 years, and he's assigned to District 1, which includes the downtown and Chinatown areas. And in an effort to get the officer's side of the story, they left him a message. We're just waiting to hear back from him. Okay. Well, you're a goofball. All right, you made it on the Bad Apple Report. And thanks for being here today, folks. Let's move on with the show.
2 Rhode Island state troopers have been fired after sharing disturbing footage of a deadly pedestrian crash on social media. The footage obtained by 12 News shows the moment 21-year-old Alex Montesino was hit and killed by a car while walking on Interstate 95 back in October. Our Jake Holter joins us live now with the latest. Jake?
Yeah, Kayla and Kim, the Rhode Island State Police announced their termination this morning, and both of the troopers were from the 2024 Academy class. A family's worst nightmare shared on social media.
We're never not going to be able to see that video. That video is accessible to everyone.
21-year-old Alex Montesino was hit and killed by a car on I-95 after getting out of his vehicle and walking onto the highway back in October. An 8-second clip of that footage was recorded on a cell phone and shared by a state trooper via Snapchat. Laughter and explicit language can be heard in the background of the clip, which later went viral.
It's so insensitive to take that and post it.
Now, 3 months later, those troopers have been fired. Rhode Island State Police Colonel Darnell Weaver said in a statement, quote, "We are deeply disappointed that these recently hired troopers displayed such poor judgment and lacked empathy for this family's tragedy." Montesino's uncle speaking with 12 News on Wednesday.
That's a scary feeling, knowing that that person or those people are out there patrolling our roads, our highways, and I pray that I never have to have an interaction with someone who's in that mental state and is an officer of the law.
Former Rhode Island State Police Colonel and 12 News law enforcement analyst Stephen O'Donnell says troopers are trained not to behave like this.
State police and local police do sensitivity training, so they have conversation about this, and they do social media training where they teach them not to use that phone. And I think part of the problem, it's problematic in the generation they come from. Everybody uses that phone, and it's a message to other members of law enforcement: do not use your phones to move evidence.
And Rhode Island State Police has not released the names of the troopers who recorded that footage.
This particular weapons detection system is also a metal detector, but it also detects non-ferrous metals as well.
In August, Sean Carter, a CCSD emergency management coordinator, explained the use for a new metal detector for the district. It would be 4 months before he would be arrested in a child luring operation. According to an arrest report, an undercover agent posed as a teenager in communication with Carter, initially using the app Grindr, before shifting to text messaging. Upon being told that the decoy was 13, Carter said, "Okay, that's fine," later asking to meet so they could, quote, "make out and have sex," Carter sending several images of himself to the decoy. CCSD lists Carter's place of work as William E. Orr Middle School in the Central Valley, working under the Operational Services Unit, mainly dealing with student safety. Carter went to meet the 13-year-old decoy not at school, but at Crossings Park in Summerlin, where he was identified by police and taken into custody, telling officers he had no intention of following through on his text, calling his actions, quote, "stupid." In a police interview, Carter defended himself, saying he would not have sex with a 13-year-old as he works with kids in the school system. Police indicating Carter was in the Marine Corps for 5 years and suffers from PTSD, depression, and other ailments. According to court records, Carter made his initial appearance in district court on Tuesday and was released on bail. So what does CCSD have to say about this arrest? Well, tonight, they said an employee by that same name is still employed with the school district, but is assigned to home.
James, thank you. According to court records, Carter is facing one felony charge related to luring a minor using technology and set for a prelim hearing that'll take place in March.
Booked today on 10 charges of sexual exploitation of a minor in the 3rd degree. Now, Charleston police alerted the Charleston Sheriff's Office this morning, and by 11 a.m., Deputy Darren Kerner was on leave for the investigation into the sexual exploitation of a minor in the 3rd degree. By the afternoon, he was booked in the detention center where he is still being held right now. Charges against Kerner pertain to an ongoing Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force investigation that the Charleston Police Department is the lead agency on. Kerner has been employed with the Charleston County Sheriff's Office since May of 2003. Now, the Sheriff's Office said in a statement, "Please be advised that any actions of this nature shall never be tolerated, especially within our agency. As such, we are fully committed to ensuring the highest standards of accountability and integrity. We take this matter very seriously and will continue to cooperate with our surrounding agencies and authorities in their investigation." Now, this is a developing story, and you can count on 2 for any updates.
Okay, you guys, what we have here, Sticky Fingers officer, Lafayette police officer, and school resource officer arrested for alleged theft. That's the same person, I do believe. Yes, it is. She looks really happy in one picture and really upset in the other one. I'm in trouble. You are a copper. A Lafayette police officer is facing potential legal trouble after being arrested on December 19th, 2024 on allegations of theft of property in the 4th degree. Not good. Authorities allege 33-year-old Alicia Johnson Farley, a Valley resident, knowingly cashed the same check, $120 check twice. Oh, no. The offense reportedly occurred on November 14th, 2024 at or near Chambers Academy in the Chambers County. Okay. Knucklehead. The arrest warrant accuses Farley of exerting unauthorized control over property valued at $120, which is a misdemeanor under Alabama law. You're in trouble now. Chambers County School District representative reached out to the blah, blah, blah Friday and said Farley is no longer working in the schools. And they'd reached out to the Lafayette Police Department to see if she's been placed on administrative leave. Efforts to obtain a statement from Lafayette Police Chief Chris Trice have so far been unsuccessful. He's so embarrassed. Oh, Lordy. It's a developing story, and there she is. Okay, you did a bad deed, Alicia Johnson Farley, and now you made it on the Bad Apple Report. Thanks for being here, folks.
Policing Board just recommended to decertified a now former Memphis police officer, meaning they believe he should no longer be allowed to work in law enforcement in Tennessee. It was a default decision since the officer did not show up for the hearing.
WRG investigators uncovered state records revealing that he got into a crash in his patrol car, but it was really how he handled that led to this decision. Our chief investigator, Jessica Gertler, explains.
We're going to get started, and we'll call the roll.
The Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission met Thursday to talk about a recommendation made by the Memphis Police Department to decertify a now former officer. Joshua Hawkins had been with the Memphis Police Department since August 2018. But as of October, MPD's command staff sent this notice to the state, revealing he's left the job and they no longer want him working in law enforcement in Tennessee. The decertification request says in November 2023, while Hawkins was on duty and operating his marked patrol car, he struck a citizen's vehicle, causing minor damage. The driver in that car he hit complained of non-life-threatening injuries, but Hawkins reportedly persuaded 3 passengers in that vehicle to forego medical attention, claiming the ambulance and traffic investigators would take too long to get to the scene. It goes on to allege Hawkins gave an incorrect name and ID number. He didn't notify a supervisor and left the scene of the crash with no report being taken. The driver, though, took a photo of his patrol car and badge numbers. A report was filed hours later. Hawkins later cited, and an internal investigation was launched. In May, Hawkins left MPD before an administrative hearing was held and he could be disciplined.
Joshua Hawkins.
Hawkins didn't answer when his name was called at Tuesday's policing board hearing. He has a chance to show up to defend himself. Back in 2022, WREG investigators requested Hawkins' employment files showing past policy violations. Take a look. In 2019, he was suspended 23 days for getting a colleague to run the tags of a car that picked up his estranged wife from her apartment. In 2021, he got in trouble for not keeping his body camera on the entire time while responding to a car crash involving a possible DUI. And those incidents weren't listed in the decertification request that MPD sent to the state. See, the way it works, the state spokesperson tells me that MPD can send any information or evidence that they want to when making such a serious request. In the past, they've sent internal records like this, 17 pages long. Recently, they've been sending this, about a page worth of information, the summary of facts you can see, about a paragraph long. A while ago, we asked MPD what changed. We've yet to hear back.
Okay, folks, do we have time for one more? Just one more? Let's do it. It's going to be a good one. It looks like it's going to be. The report says a Metro officer pointed a gun at his wife when she was with the husband of his lover. Wrap your head around that. All right, let's see what's going on. A Metro Police Department officer arrested Wednesday pointed a gun at his wife and a man with whom she had developed a relationship amid her separation from her husband, according to an arrest report. Okay. Robert Bell, the knucklehead, who has been employed with Metro since 1999, entered his wife's home on February 2nd, his arrest report said. The two were living in separate residences at the time as they pursued a divorce, which court records show was finalized in August. Okay, when Bell found his wife with another man, he pointed his gun at them and told his wife to get out of the line of fire, according to the arrest report. Whoa. Okay, the report said that when she refused, Bell faked a call to 911 and pretended to request police. Bell then told the man he needed to leave and walked him out of the residence. Oh, the man wasn't wearing shoes. And Bell kept his firearm holstered on his hip, the arrest report said. Well, he just messed up a real good time, didn't he? According to his arrest report, Bell had previously had an affair with a woman he had met at the Clark County Detention Center where she worked. Okay, she was the wife of the man Bell had confronted in his wife's home, according to the arrest report. Spicy. Okay, the man had developed a relationship with Bell's wife after finding out about his own wife's affair, the arrest report said. He and his wife were also going through a divorce and still are, court records show. During divorce proceedings in the spring of 2024, Bell's wife said in court that her husband had held her at gunpoint. Okay, Bell, he has a history, you guys. Bell denied, allegedly, that he ever had drawn a gun on her or the man, but said he had it in his hands at a low ready. What a goofball. You're still in trouble, Bell. Bell and his wife have been married for 28 years. Oh, he's facing charges of coercion constituting domestic violence, assault with the use of a deadly weapon, and kidnapping, among others. Bell was placed on suspension of police powers with pay pending an investigation, Metro said. And there you have it. Wow, he just threw it all away. That's crazy. Okay. Thanks for being here today, folks. Let's move on with the show.
Now, this all started back in June when the FBI raided then Mayor Sheng Tao's home, taking away several boxes. The same day, agents raided the homes and businesses of multiple members of the Duong family who own Cow Waste Solutions, an Oakland recycling contractor. Tao and Jones have both repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. Tao also publicly stressed that she was not the target of any investigation. The then mayor also publicly criticized the FBI for the timing of the raid, noting it happened amid a growing push to recall her from office. Those recall efforts ultimately succeeded. Those reports of Tao's indictment have recall organizers celebrating and have some members of city council concerned about potential impacts to the integrity of city business.
Shocked, disappointed, but absolutely maintaining my commitment to moving us out of this mess and doing all that I can to restore the people's trust. And that's going to need a whole lot of elected officials and appointed officials on board if we're serious about making that happen.
We've known for a while that we've alleged that we believe that Sheng Tao is a deeply corrupt individual. And my thought is that Oakland owes us a debt of gratitude. Imagine if she was still the mayor of Oakland. At least now she's no longer the mayor of Oakland. We're already well underway in picking a new leader.
Last July, the city of Oakland was ordered to hand over records tied to the city contracts with California Waste Solutions, along with a group called Evolutionary Homes, and documents tied to Tao's partner, Andre Jones. That subpoena also demanded records tied to the 2022 mayoral...
That's a wrap. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really do appreciate it. Okay, we're going to do it again tomorrow. I'll see you back here at 7:30 a.m. bright and early with a whole new batch of bad apples just for you. I hope you have a great day.